Wow, that's powerful. I'm just intrigued and just like taken aback. It's like you mentioned how when the judge came out and he read his verdict, or that
Hmm.
that he spoke your life's mission.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I'm, as a poet, one of the ways that I process things that's going on in my life, whether it's traumatic events. So like when I lost my dad back in 2018, was I wrote about it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that helps me is through writing poetry.
Hmm.
And I often go by this sort of tagline is that when life breaks your heart, make art with the pieces. And so poetry, in a lot of ways, is my way of making art with broken pieces.
Hmm.
And it sounds like you, even as a 13-year-old, was able to make some art with broken pieces because you experienced this traumatic event
Hmm.
in your life, losing your best friend, your brother,
Yeah.
but you were able to be resilient, you were able to persevere, and now you're helping those individuals who have the potential of being like that person who murdered your brother,
Hmm.
but you're helping them, you're serving them so that they won't do the
Hmm.
same thing. And so as a clinical psychologist, you're essentially, at least for me, it seems like you're making art with broken
Hmm.
pieces.
Yeah.
And you're helping other people to do the same.
Hmm. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So you've overcome some things. You've
Of course.
overcome trauma,
Hmm.
and you're helping other people overcome trauma.
Yes.
Now, in this process of becoming a clinical psychologist, like how exactly did that come about though? Like did you just all of a sudden at 13 like, hey, I want to be a clinical psychologist? Like how did that come about?
No. So I remember like I am so glad. There are so many times that I am so glad that there was not social media when I was a kid. Because if there was
Yes.
social media when I was a kid, like I don't think I would be as successful as I was. And the
Mm,
main reason why I say that was because I remember when I was in sixth grade. So my brother was murdered when I was in fifth grade
mm,
in April of 1995. And I remember, and I still remember to this day, it
mm,
was like sometime in September of 1995. And I was at the playground in our neighborhood,
mm,
and I was hanging out with my friends Diana and Nina. And all of a sudden, this guy in that I had known my whole entire life, like I grew up, like I've known him since kindergarten,
mm.
and he came up to me at the playground because I don't even know how it started, but all I remember is him saying like, "I'm going to murder your other two brothers." And
Mercy.
I was like, what? And like, not, I had no emotion regulation at that point. Cause remember, it's only like, what, like 4 months, 5 months later,
Mm,
after my brother was murdered. And so, like, I remember, like, I ran, cause then he like started to bike away. And so I ran after him, and I remember I like knocked him off his bike, and I just started
wow.
punching and kicking. And like, my two friends had to like pull me off of him, and then
Mm,
like he like ran away, and then like we just kind of hung out at the playground, and then probably like 20 minutes later all of a sudden he comes up with his dad, and his dad's like, "Where's Andrea?" And I'm like, "That's me." And he's like, "Why the hell did you beat this, why'd you beat up my son?" And so I told him what he said, and he looks
mm.
at him and goes, "You deserve that." He's
Wow.
like, "Why would you say that?"
Yeah.
And he's and then like as they turn around, he's like, "I can't believe you got beat up by a girl." um so there was some time where like I had to kind of process things emotionally.
Mm,
And I remember it really, and then like I remember in sixth grade I had to do like a book report or like a
mm,
career report on like what I wanted to be when I got older. And I decided I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I was like, no, I don't want to be a lawyer. Like that is not for me. And
mm,
then I remember it was like my senior year of high school, and I
mm.
was like, okay, do I want to be a psychologist or do I want to be a psychiatrist? I knew I wanted to help kids similar to the person who had murdered my brother,
Wow.
but I didn't know whether or not I wanted to go like the MD route, which would be mostly prescribing medications, or if I wanted to go the more therapy route. And
Mm,
ultimately, I remember I talked to my AP biology teacher, and he was like, Mata, because they all call me Mata. He's like, Mata, he's like, go the psychology route. He's like, you do not want, he's like, you don't want to be in like, he's like, you just don't want to give medication. I was like, you're right. Like, I don't want to just give kids medication because that's not going to help. That's not going to help the kind of kid I wanted to help.
Yeah.
So I decided to go the psychology route, and I actually never looked back from that moment.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. You found your life mission, and now you're walking in your purpose.
Yes. Every day.
Every single day,
Every day.
helping families, helping children and navigate life, be resilient, persevere through traumatic experiences that they have. That's very important work, especially as one who serves students in ministry.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, anxiety is high in these young people, and so I appreciate the work that you're doing. I'm out front running. Oh, yeah.